Good evening and welcome back to the channel. As you might notice, I have a large box right here in the basement. And you might be wondering what is inside of this large box. Although my thumbnail's clue of it's beige probably gave it away that it's beige. And hopefully by the height of the box, you might have some good guesses. So, yes, Thomas, hi, when you do get to watch this after work. I had to wait till after Maciac, and this arrived today, so I wanted to unbox it today. Just so I knew there wasn't any unpleasant surprises inside. So I have my fancy utility knife here. I'm fairly sure that this box has packing material, so I don't have to worry about cutting what's inside. Packing peanuts. Well, alright, at least I'm in the basement. I did have this brief thought of trying to do this in my office, but I realized that would be a mistake. Is it fixed? Hi, Retro Techie. No, it's not fixed yet. In fact, it got shipped in packing peanuts. And I don't want to get them all over the floor, even if I am in the basement. And they're not even the biodegradable ones. Of course, you know, if I was really being smart about this, I'd go upstairs and get another trash bag and reuse these, but no one likes them. Alright, this is something I bought off eBay, so this isn't like something that someone gave me. But I was browsing eBay and I ran across this computer. It actually is a computer I've mentioned on my blog before. So, when I found one at about the right price, it looked like it might be in okay shape. And I went ahead and bought it. Alright, let me see if I've got enough packing peanuts out to pull it out without spilling too many. Alright. Message from the seller, Computer Consignments. Thanks for your purchase. I hope you love it. Well, I hope I love it too. Alright. Oh, maybe this is a little smaller than I remember it being. Although the lid not being closed is an ominous sign. Alright, if I can manage to have the stream and only spill like less than a dozen packing peanuts on the floor, it will be a successful stream. And there's the third one. Yes, I've dropped 3 packing peanuts on the floor so far, so if I can manage to not drop too many more, then I am good. Oh, well, I guess now that I have it on the table, I guess I could go to the table cam view, because that will give a hint as to what it is. for anyone watching this playing the I'm going to guess what Justin bought game. Now I have narrowed down the computers that I have discussed on my blog. In fact, I might have narrowed it down considerably. It's a 2019 Mac Pro. Well, that would be well, I guess maybe one could hope that the seller felt bad for me and took the guts out and made it a sleeper 2019 Mac Pro. But somehow I don't think I'm that lucky. And actually, I haven't written about the 2019 Mac Pro on my blog. So in fact, actually, I think the number of beige computers I've written about is very small. Well, alright, we've got some cracked plastic. That's why the lid's not closed. Well, alright. Woohoo! I think I actually got that out of the box and only spilled 3 packing peanuts. Alright, so let's take a look at... Had some interesting labels on it that I saw in the eBay picture. Granted, the labels aren't why I bought it, but... U.S. Government ADPE Inventory Identification Help Desk. Interesting. That's a rather new label for an old computer. But this apparently was used in the government. So anyways, this... Oh, and I just heard something fall inside of it. Hopefully it was just a chunk of plastic. Anyways... I have a Macintosh IIci. Now, granted, I believe on my blog, I wasn't quite sure which computer I was using when I registered my first domain name, so that's which blog post this comes from. It was either a IIci or a IIcx, and so of course, if I'm going to buy one or the other, I decided I'd go for the IIci because it's the better of the two computers. So anyways, I see that the government etched some number in the top of the case. I should have expected that. There is some... there's a bug in the grill and a little damage there. Yeah, I know. It's got some brittle plastic for sure. For some reason, they took a picture of this in the auction as if that was someone's autograph, but I think that's just a squiggle from quality control. And here we go. I did know there wasn't a hard drive in it because, well, if the government had this, the hard drive probably got crushed a long time ago. But, alright, so far... I do see there's some crustiness around those chips. Of course, these electrolyte capacitors have all but certainly leaked. But overall, there's some, well, this has been stored somewhere less optimal than a climate-controlled clean room. But at least it's got the, at least they didn't, like, at least they pulled just the hard drive and didn't, like, pull the entire drive carrier and SCSI cable and power cable, as some people might do. Alright. Of course, it'd probably make sense if I'd actually go find the instructions on how you remove the power supply. Kind of thought you just pull up on it. Alright, well, you have a good night, Retro Techie. You can catch the rest of this, because there is an item under this that I'm most concerned about, and I cannot see far enough under it yet. So far, though, I don't see any signs of a battery bomb, but the night is young. So, alright, well, I'm going to have to look up how you remove the 2CI power supply. Well, actually, there's the instructions for 2SI, but no, that's not going to work. I think it's a different case. Oh, here we go. The Macintosh IIcx 2CI Quadra 700 service source. Alright, this'll work. Symptom charts. Cover, speaker bracket and speaker. Ah, that's funny. So the instructions for the speaker bracket and speaker, Apple's first step is, before you begin, remove the cover. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to have figured that one. Power supply. Alright, use some force in lifting the power supply. If it does not move, verify the latch is released. Oh, there's some broken plastic there. The latch. Of course, their diagram does not show the latch. That would be too easy. Power supply. Because it shows the lips of the power supply. Huh. That's funny, Apple. Release the latch. Release the latch. Is that what they're talking about? All the way down there? Oh! Oh! There it is. It's under the power supply. On the front, I guess the front side. Come on, power supply. I know you can do it. Come on out. Don't be shy. There we go. Alright, there we go. Alright, the power supply is out. Well, still so far nothing horrifically scary, but well, I do need to remove the drive. Oh, I bet I have to remove the speaker assembly. No, I don't. I think that can stay in. Oh, well, there's one of the things rattling around. It's a italicized piece of plastic. Well, I'll figure out what that goes to later. Well, I broke that. Ooh. Well, I got an LS Logic chip that kind of looks really bad down here. I bet I end up, I'll zoom in on it better, but I bet I end up having to replace that LS Logic chip. Because actually, well, then again, it might be fun. Alright, there's the SCSI cable. Get the power cable. Well, maybe the power cable's not going to want to come out. Alright, let's see here. The drive bay is... actually held in with a screw. Okay. And is this the part of the stream where I realized that I've... Nope. Okay, I did bring some... I brought one of them back down. I was about to say, is this the part of the stream where I realized that I've taken all of my screwdrivers upstairs? Alright, there is actually a screw holding the drive carrier in. Actually, there is one thing I have not seen yet, and maybe it's actually under the drive carrier. Oh, well there it is, the floppy drive cable. It is right under where the floppy drive goes. And ooh, there's some bugs in the floppy drive. I will have to debug that. And that is the item I was looking for. The battery. All right. Well, the good news is it appears to have not leaked. Or if it did leak, it hasn't leaked very much. Although, quite honestly, the battery terminals kind of look... They don't look shiny, but... Alright, let me see if I can get the cover off. Alright, well there's the battery cover. And... Come on, battery. Well, there's the battery. August 1990. All right. It looks like the pictures that I looked at the pictures. I carefully looked as far as I could see in the picture under there, and I didn't see anything that looked like battery corrosion, so I was pretty sure that this Mac would chime again. And it does look like I will be able to do something with it. Alright, it looks like... Well, there's some weird gunk here on the... Oh, that's probably bug remains. Okay, so the battery is out. Don't have to worry about that. So we'll kind of go around and take a look at what we've got here. So, oh, I didn't realize the CI has the math coprocessor integrated. All right. I guess that explains why I never found where the FPU socket was in the pictures. It's because there's the FPU right there, 68882. Nice. And of course I knew it was a 68030 processor. So, alright, and we have 8 sims. And I believe from the fact that there are 8 memory chips on each of these sims, I believe that means that these are at least 1 megabyte. Oh, and these are those plastic clips that I really don't like. Alright, well, I'm not going to remove the sims right now. This was just mainly a unboxing and inspection video. So it looks like, well, if I had to guess, I suspect it's 8 megabytes. I don't see enough silk screening to know for sure. Although, so these 4 have Oki chips on them, and then these 4 have, I believe, Samsung. These are actually made by made in the US and have brand of Legend on them. These kind of look generic. I don't know, maybe this is what came from Apple. Although then again, this computer may have been upgraded further at some point. I really would like to maybe very carefully get one of these sims out. Well, I may need to get some deoxit or something. All right, so we'll move right on around the motherboard tour of the condition of this computer. All right, so it looks like the programmer and reset switch are here. So it's good that piece of plastic wasn't lost. Now this 74 ALS 240 chip, it's looking a bit green on the leads. So I'm thinking this chip may need to be replaced. Although, it might still work. I've seen YouTubers have worse computers and they work. So, it might be okay. But I'll probably put that on my component order for repair. At least it looks like the new bus slots are good, as well as the cache slot, which I guess I'll probably get a cache card for this computer, because that really helps performance. And then back in the, I think this is where the sound is going to be, in ADB, and the serial ports. Yeah, definitely some electrolyte. Oh fun, oh joy there, but overall it looks like this IIci is in repairable condition. Ah, okay, well, there's the ADB chip. So, and I suspect the power supply is going to need recapped as well. I really would be surprised if it just works. Well, I'm going to need to remove, there's some rust on the battery terminals. Quite honestly, it would not surprise me if that battery, because I did see like 2 little brown dots on the wrapper. It would not surprise me if that battery maybe had just started to leak. Or maybe this computer was just stored in an area that was inevitable to form some rust, because there's actually rust. There's some rust here. And I guess some corrosion on the ports here. But overall, think this computer looks like it's in a good enough condition that hopefully with a recap and a good ultrasonic cleaning, although I won't be able to put this in my ultrasonic cleaner, and maybe I can do half and half. Put one side in and then put the other side in somehow carefully. So, well, there's that. One of the new bus card covers on the back is missing. I guess I'll just have to get an Ethernet card. And yeah, someone wrote in permanent marker on the back of this. Oh, I guess let me turn this right side up, because... Oh, well, now the permanent marker number's upside down. Okay, but it looks like there's 8M written on this label, so I suspect someone at some point tested this. I bet that's 8 megabytes of memory. Funny card. Well, unfortunately, there were no cards in it, so I guess the reseller, which appeared to be a reseller of used computers, probably the computers that were too good to go to actually getting scrapped. I bet the funny card that was in here they realized was probably worth something. So, anyways, I paid, I think, I made an offer on this computer. I think they had it listed at about $99 or something like that, or right around something $9,900 US. I made an offer. Granted, I think I might have, I don't know. Maybe I lowballed them a little, mainly because I couldn't see the battery. I think I offered them $75. And they came back and counter-offered at $90. And I thought about it for a day, and then I decided, you know, $90 is probably worth it for a 2CI. Especially one that I thought I could probably clean up and repair. I mean, it does need some cleaning. I will probably try to get away with just cleaning it, because I've tried Retro Bright before and have gotten burned by the results. Although I guess now that I'm actually in a place where I could actually set something out on the driveway, and my driveway is long enough that I could set it someplace where it would get sunlight for a majority of the day, maybe I'll try retro brighting it later this year when I have probably on a summer day where I've got maximum sun, so I can do it outside with free UV light from the sun. But other than that, at the moment though, I'll just try to clean it up and remove these labels, and luckily, and clean that marker off. Now, of course, what would be really cool is if I could manage to snag a computer from somewhere, or manage to find an auction of a computer that actually came from one of the schools I went to, and put the property flamethrower. I don't think so, Jay. This computer has U.S. government patina. I don't like all the labels the government puts on their computers. And probably the worst thing is they etched a number into the case top. That's not going to retro bright out. I'm thinking that might be the serial number of the computer, but I suspect it's probably some random asset tag number. But it does look like I can recap this and clean it. And there's one chip that looks really suspect, but luckily it's an LS logic chip. I think this will make for a successful Macintosh project. As yes, that's why the other reason why I decided to go for it is because since this year would be the 23rd anniversary year of me registering my first domain name, and because I am an absolute nerd, and 23 is a prime number, and you don't get to have prime number anniversaries very often, I figured I would do something special for Macintosh. So I registered my first domain name on, it was either a Macintosh IIcx or a Macintosh IIci. And since the IIci is the better of the two computers, but they're otherwise look nearly the same, which is why I can't remember which one it was, I went for the IIci. It was about $10 more than the IIcx. So I will make sure I order parts soon. I actually have found caps for this. I'm going to take a look in the power supply here in a moment, because I hear things rattling around inside of it. So anyways, coming soon to a Macintosh near you. And luckily I've got some blue scuzzies. Oh, well, alright. Well, there's a piece of plastic. Alright, well, I thought I would pull the fan out so I could get a look at everything inside of it. And alright, well, the fan looks okay, and there's a little bit of plastic. So aha. Guess what I see inside of here. Alright, let's see if I can't zoom in. And, oh, where did I see it? Oh, wrong. I'm showing you the wrong side of the power supply. Ha ha ha. Oh, looky there. It's every retro enthusiast's favorite component. Oh, Steve! Would you come turn this computer on for me? I'll plug it in for you and just leave it setting beside you. Yep, that would be a refa cap. This power supply is going to get recapped because actually I believe the plastic is cracked on this refa cap. Because I can kind of see a line right there. So this refa cap, in fact, that might actually be what's rattling around inside of this. Make it go boom. No, I don't want to set all the smoke detectors in my house off tonight. But yeah, that looks... Actually, the reason why I'm inspecting this is because I think the seller tried to power it up. So they may have already made it go boom. And then they... Oh yeah, that actually... Yeah, that refa cap is... Yeah, it's like one power up away from going. Because the seller in one part of their listing said that it powered up. In another part of the listing, they said it was that they didn't power it up. So I don't know if they just didn't want to admit that they powered it up, or if they were using a template and forgot to update something. I don't know which. Well, I'm starting to smell PCB smells. Oh. Well, okay. At least I can see that, unlike my LC, which when I got it and took the cover off and looked at the PCB, there was actually wet electrolyte on the PCB. And it does not appear as if there is wet electrolyte on this PCB. That is not to say that capacitors have not leaked or ruptured. Alright, so if I remember from a video I recently saw, as I believe, oh yeah, I believe it was this does not compute. I'm hoping, let's see, I need to disconnect the incoming power. Somehow, I thought it just unplugged. Okay, it is a socket, so let me see if the spudger will help. Oh, maybe, there we go. Maybe I need to press that and then pull it out. It has a little retaining clip on it. Oh, actually, I am... Oh, yeah, it's coming loose. There we go. Just had work its way loose. Okay. So now... Oh, and of course it's soldered together. That would be the case. Oh yeah, there we go. There's that reefer cap. Oh, a little insulator. Oh, those are cute. Yeah, it looks like there's two little reefer caps and a big reefer cap. And they're all three cracked. I thought there was normally only two reefer caps. Okay, so there's one X2 cap, and it is yeah, it's definitely cracked. And then there's two Y caps. So I'll have to order some of those. Actually, is that... Actually, there are two X2 caps. Wait a minute, what was Apple doing when they designed... Oh, wait a minute, Apple didn't design this power supply. Aztec designed this power supply. Okay, maybe to the Mac knowledgeable in the chat. Why in the world are there 5 reefer caps in this power supply? Because here's one of the X2 caps. This one here under this glue is an X2 cap. And there is another reefer cap under here that is an X2 cap. And then there's... These two are marked Y. So there are five little reefer caps. Sorry, I don't have lightning effects down in the lab. And they quite honestly look like they all might just go boom. Oh, I guess I'll have to possibly replace them all. Well, at least the fuses haven't blown. Alright, well, Okay, some of the bigger caps look okay. Although there is a cap that is in heat shrink tubing. It's right here. And it... Oh, I can't... Oh, maybe that's just the way the label's folded down on it. Oh, alright. Oh, well, there's what that broken plastic is. I have no idea what that broken plastic is. Hopefully it's not important. Although something tells me my luck would be it is important. It also looks like they used at least 2 different kinds of glues on this power supply. Alright, well, the caps... The electrolytic caps look okay. Although, quite honestly, maybe it still wouldn't be a bad idea to recap them. The Reefa caps, always suspect. So I guess I'll, yeah, especially this X2 cap here that just looks like it's ready to go at a moment's notice. Is it? Yeah, in fact, actually, I think it's so ready to go, I bet. Yeah, it looks like I could just pop a chunk of the plastic off. Well, at least the relay looks okay. Yeah, I'll have to desolder the relay for ultrasonic cleaning. Maybe some of these Reefa caps are... Yeah, that one of these is potted. Or, well, not potted, it's glued. That's going to be really fun to remove. I might end up having to replace whatever this is just because, the Reefa cap is glued to it. It looks like a big capacitor of some sort. Mark II microfarads. 250 volt. Well, I guess I knew I would eventually get a power supply with Reefa caps, so here it is. Anyways, I guess the power supply looks like it's in decent shape. I'll probably go ahead and, if I'm going to replace the Reefa caps, which look like they're, one of them looks like it's just ready to go. I'll just probably go ahead and recap the power supply. I'll have to figure out what this piece of plastic is that was broken. I don't recognize it. And it looks like it's incomplete too. I'm hoping that's not an important functional piece. Might just be... No. I was about to say maybe it's part of the latch, but no, it doesn't look like it's part of the latch. I have no idea what it goes to. Maybe it's part of the fan frame. Anyways, oh, that's the power supply. I think there's a recapping guide for this out there, so I'll go avail myself of that to order caps. I am hopefully going to do a better job about not losing screws. Alright, and then we've got the floppy drive here, which... Let's see here. Does this just slide out? Or is it clip in? Or both? Because I see 2 screws, but they look like they're... Oh, here we go. Okay. So there's, I think that's the clip holding it in on the front. So now if I lift that up gently, I should be able to push this drive forward and out. So we have the famous or infamous Sony MP F7 5W11G 2 megabyte drive. Yep, I think this is pretty much the standard drive Apple was going with at the time. It is dirty as all get out. So I am sure I will have to clean and lubricate it. I will probably also have to debug it because I think there are bugs inside of it. Ah, yes, there's a... In fact, yeah, right there's a dead spider. Not sure what kind it is. I don't care what kind it is. It's going, well, no, get off my spudger, spider. There we go. It's going in the trash can. So, yeah, this will need to be cleaned. That'll be fun. Hopefully, though, with a good clean, lubricate the moving parts, hopefully it will live to read another floppy disk or two. That's about as far as I'm going to go on that. Because this was just to review everything. Luckily, though, this is... looks to be in good shape. Looking to see if I could read the date code on this molded plastic. Looks like it's marked October 23rd, maybe? That's weird. I don't know how they marked the year on it, though. Anyways. The case, actually, you know, the case probably has a... Or actually, maybe a better way of knowing about when this was actually built. I got more plastic rattling around it. Just out of curiosity, to round out the stream. I guess we can look at the date codes on the chips. So that looks like this VLSI chip. Well, I guess let me zoom out so you can, zoom out. The other zoom. Alright, so that's got a date code of, well, I don't know. That doesn't look like it has a date code. That looks like a copyright date. Alright, the processor kind of looks like it has a date code of 9031, perhaps. Let's see, other date codes I see. Well, the VLSI chips look like might be 9036, 9036, 9037, processor 9036. This VLSI chip 9039, 9038, 9037, 9040. So I'm probably going to put this motherboard at probably fourth quarter of 1990 is probably when this board was assembled. Just given the dates on the chips that I see. Because about the latest one I see is week 40 of 1990. So I would say it was probably fourth quarter of 1990. Would be my guess. Potentially first quarter of 1991, but I suspect that this was probably late 1990. At least when the motherboard was manufactured. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they did a run of these boards after they got those Zilog parts. So, yep, I don't see any date codes later than week 40. I mean, I see some early date codes, but they're chips that look like they might be more common among Apple products. So, anyways, that is the Mac IIci. And to be clear, this probably is... Oh, hi, Bruce. Yeah, it's a IIci. Hi, Jeremy. Yep, this is the computer I registered my... Well, not this exact computer, but one like it. I registered my first domain on. So, this is my Macintosh project. It looks like I should have a fairly easy time of repairing it. The most concerning thing is... that chip right there looks the worst, and it's really weird because, well, I guess maybe it's because of that cap right there. But then again, that just may be surface crustiness. It might clean up. That chip may work. Oh, cool. So, but the rest of the board looks pretty good. Luckily, the battery terminal has a little bit of surface rust on it, but, and yes, the battery was in here when I finally got down to it, but I saved it. So yeah, I'll be able to clean that surface rust up. So, but yeah, I should be able to recap this and hopefully we'll get it back up and running. Because it looks pretty good. Although, Bruce, maybe you might know this. It kind of surprised me a little. But, is there any reason why there's 5 reefa caps in this power supply? And yes, I'm not plugging this in until I replace this reefa cap here. Because this reefa cap here... looks like it's just about ready to go. But yeah, there's an X2 cap there. There's an X2 cap under here. And then that's another X2 cap. And then there's 2 Y caps. Because I thought normally power supplies had an X and a Y cap. But yet there appears to be 5 safety caps in this power supply. And they all appear to be reefa caps. And they're probably all going to get replaced because I don't trust them any. Yeah, where's my sense of adventure? I have none. If I had a sense of adventure, I would have just clicked buy it now without looking at the photos. Let's just say that I scrolled through the photos a number of times trying to see any last hints that the battery had exploded in this power supply. So, the worst I found is there's bugs in it. And it did not... This computer did not have a hard drive, so I won't have another quantum hard drive to enjoy while it lasts. Granted, I knew that there wasn't going to be a hard drive in it. This computer was owned by the U.S. government, so I'm sure that the hard drive that was in here was probably rendered into a pile of broken glass a long time ago. So, But luckily, I have a number of blue scuzzies, so that won't be a problem. I will be able to get this up and running. It looks pretty good. In fact, I actually already have a shopping cart started with Mauser with the caps for the motherboard. I'll just need to identify the caps for the power supply. And then I will be able to order parts. I do believe it has 8 megs of RAM, which is pretty good. But I'm probably going to soup it up a little because that's what I do. And because I realized I can max this thing out pretty cheap. It would have cost a small fortune back then, but now, yes. Yeah, I'm going to have to get some deoxit because I think I tried to remove this one here, and it really didn't want to. Once I released the clips, it really didn't want to move, and these are those really awful, fragile plastic clips that everyone hates. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if people hated them back in the day when they weren't so fragile. Because they're awful. Although, these aren't quite as bad as the ones in my 386. The ones in my 386 are downright truly awful because there hardly is any latch to get your finger into to release them, but yet there is a latch. At least these, the latch is fairly easy to get to, although staring at it too long will probably make it break. But yeah. So, 8 megs of RAM. I might upgrade it to 128 megs of RAM. Because back in the day, that would have cost the same price as a small farm, probably. Maybe not quite that much. Then again, if I remember the retail price of this IIci when it came out, it was north of $6,000 US dollars. So that would have bought a small car back then. So maybe 128 megs of RAM costing a small farm, maybe that's not too far off. But nowadays, I think I can get that on eBay for less than $100. So I probably will do it. I'll see if I can't get a cash card too. In fact, I almost bought one on eBay, but the more I looked at the card, the more I realized the card just looked awful. So I didn't buy it. It was the one I found that was in the US. There was one that a Canadian seller is selling, and it looked much better. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to find the one that I registered my domain on, not that I would be able to recognize it, but it was either sold in a school surplus auction a long time ago or it's sitting in some closet in the central office. So I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I thought it'd be cool to get an asset tag from one of those computers that was in the school and put it on this computer, so it felt a little more like the one I registered the domain on, but those asset tags really aren't designed to be removed and put back on. Although I guess if I did that, I would use a much gentler adhesive to put it on the computer. But yeah, it even has the programmer switches, so that was pretty cool. And the thing I should have probably realized, considering how much this computer cost, I was wondering where the FPU socket was, and, well, luckily I realized when I took a look at, nope, there is no FPU socket. This computer actually came with one. So, yay! So, coming soon to a Macintosh near you, we'll have the IIci series. Plus, I probably will try to have at least one more video on the LC to kind of wrap that series up. So, you can stay tuned for that. That'll probably be a scripted video. But I was kind of wanting to wrap that series up since I've upgraded its RAM and upgraded its VRAM, and it's running pretty good now. The fan's a little noisy, but it otherwise works pretty good. So I thought I'll probably close that series out too for Macintosh. But I want to order the part so I can recap this board for Macintosh and maybe get it booting. Or at least maybe get it to where I can boot it for Macintosh. That'd probably be pretty decent because the power supply needs some work. This needs some work. And the floppy drive, I didn't even open its cover because I could see there's spider webs in the floppy drive. It's probably going to need at least cleaning and lubricating because to clean it, yeah, it probably needs relubricated. Hopefully I don't need gears, but at least the gears are available somewhere. I forget where I saw them this past week. But anyways, I thought since this came in today, I would do a stream to open it up, take a look at it, and see how I did. Well, I paid $90 US for it, plus shipping. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really get a deal for shipping, but they did ship at UPS, and UPS now charges dimensional weight, so yeah, that's probably why it cost so much to ship. It was like $40 shipping. But they did package it well. I don't think anything... There's some broken plastic inside the case, but I suspect it was broken before they shipped it. It was packaged pretty well, even if they did use pink packing peanuts that I detest. It seemed to be packaged pretty well. So, I think this will be a nice Macintosh project. I will hopefully get the parts in so I can do it. So, if you'd like to know wouldn't that fit in a USPS flat rate box? The short answer is no. The eBay seller answer would be, I'm going to make it fit in a flat rate box. And the eBay buyer answer is, I don't want them to try to put this in a flat rate box because we all know it would only be the computer in the flat rate box. Yeah. I don't think they have a flat rate box that's tall enough. But there are eBay sellers that would probably try to make it fit, and then you'll just get a pile of broken plastic because they'd make the computer fit with no bubble wrap. After all, how many times has someone on MacYac in the chat or on live, because I think I remember Greg mentioning it once, of hearing the anecdote that the seller just threw the PowerBook in a flat rate box and mailed it. So, yeah. But yeah, they actually sent it in a decent box. There was plenty of packing peanuts on all sides. And I actually called the stream a success very early in the stream because my criteria was, as long as I dropped less than a dozen packing peanuts on the floor, it was a successful stream. And I have only dropped 3 packing peanuts on the floor, so as long as I can manage to take the trash bag upstairs without any falling out, then it will be a successful stream. I will comment in the chat if I have to demote the stream success because I managed to rip the trash bag open and spill all the packing peanuts on the floor. Yeah, I really don't like them. And they're not even the biodegradable ones, so it's not like I could just decide to hose the basement floor down and let them biodegrade and sweep them to the floor drain. Nope. These are the... Yeah, these were the awful packing peanuts. Yeah, they even make awful sounds when you handle them. Ugh. All right, well, that is all I was going to do for this stream, was inspect the IIci. announce the Macintosh project within. So if you aren't a subscriber, I do invite you to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the restoration of this 2CI, especially because if I do retro bright it, that won't be till much later this year. March is not a great month in Virginia for trying to retro bright. It's still a bit cold outside, and I'd rather use the sun instead of buying a whole bunch of UV lights. Although, spoiler alert, I did buy a bunch of UV lights recently, but it wasn't for retro brighting. Yeah, that'll be for another day. Oh, I just realized the LED is missing from the hard drive LED. I'll have to fix that. So maybe give a thumbs up if you like this stream. Leave something in the comments. Maybe what was your first computer that you did something special on? So in my case, the 2CI is where I registered my first domain name. So, or even maybe if you have a suggestion on what to put in this new bus slot that I don't have a cover for. I thought an Ethernet card, but maybe there's something even better. Leave it in the comments. And who knows? If I can get one at a reasonable price, maybe it'll be part of the Macintosh project. Or some video down the road. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and call this stream to an end, because I would like to make sure the basement trash gets outside before it gets too late. Because the trash will probably come very early in the morning. So, with that, I hope everyone has a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Yes, hey Joe! Macintosh 2022, here's my project. So, anyways, that is all I had for tonight, was the big reveal, because it came in the UPS today. So anyways, thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. So take care.